Hello, I'm Monica Hill. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a very special and important video about a current event that is happening in our world. It's an honor to have freedom and freedom of speech, and that has and will not always be the case. So I thank the Lord that I have the liberty as of today to speak a little bit about the information that I have learned about, and I want to share these things with you, and I want you to do your own research so that you will not be in the dark. Hosea 4:6 says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." And Matthew 24:22 says, "And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." I want to give you two resources to listen to today or as soon as you can. One of them is Doug Batchelor or Amazing Facts on YouTube. Watch the Friday Night Live from last night. Pastor Doug Batchelor happened to have Ukrainian and Russian guests on the program to talk a little bit about information and maybe some details of his segment. Also, watch his series titled Panorama of Prophecy. I believe he started those series back in November of 2021. And it is a series of about 25 videos that tell of the prophecy of the Bible and the things that have been prophesied and have come to pass, and the things that will come to pass according to the Bible, the book of Daniel and Revelation. There's a lot of symbolism in the book, but he does a wonderful job explaining Bible prophecy along with history. I am so grateful for him and his ministry and for him being a historian. With that said, I also want to tell you that the United States is going to play a role in Bible prophecy. If you would like to have this lesson from Doug Batchelor, Amazing Facts website, or from his organization, you can dial 1-800-835-6747. It is offer number 181. The USA in Bible Prophecy is the name of the pamphlet of information. Now, I wanted to share some facts that I have learned about, and another resource I want you to listen to and to keep an eye on if you are trying to keep up with what's going on is WION, WION. That is a YouTube channel, and there is a particular video that I'm going to be citing information from right now. The name of the video is The Russian-Ukraine Crisis Explained. I think it says explain, semicolon or colon, the Russian-Ukraine crisis. There are a lot of things that are happening right now that are going to affect the whole world. It is already affecting the whole world. And the reason why I'm making this video today is that we need to be understanding and wise and knowledgeable about the things that are going on, even if we feel like it does not affect us. It does, and it will. Also, the Bible tells us to remember, this being Black History Month, there are a lot of similarities in history of struggle that African Americans have had with other people. But we need to know not only the current events, but we need to understand history so that we can understand more of the present. Romans 11:25 says, "For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in." Listen, Ukraine was once more powerful than Moscow. Ukraine and America were adversaries, enemies, during the Cold War from 1945 to 1991. In the 9th century, Kievan Rus, which is where Russia derives its name from, was made up of the ancestors of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. They were the Slavic people. There are only 3 brief times in history that Ukraine has been independent. Since 1991, before the World War, a little bit briefly before World War I, and a brief time in 1600s, okay? The name Rus comes from an Old Norse word for the man who rose. The Vikings rode from Sweden to the now Russian territories and down the rivers all the way to Ukraine. Rus, or Rus, R-U-S, is also a Slavic word for red hair. Kievan stretched from the Baltic Sea to the Black Sea. And since the Middle Ages, you separate Red Rus, the southern Poland and Ukraine areas, from Belarus, or White Rus, which is the area closer to the Baltic Sea. Baltas meaning white in Lithuanian, and Bela is white in Russian. This video will cut off, but I'm almost finished. In between 1980 and 1015, Kievan Rus was ruled by Grand Prince Volodymyr. In Russian, his name means Vladimir, and in Ukrainian, Volodymyr. Thus, you have the names of the 2 country leaders today, Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky, who, by the way, is Jewish, and he came into power over Ukraine in 2019. He was voted in by 73% of the people. Okay? From 980 to 1015, Kievan Rus was ruled by Grand Prince Volodymyr. In the 1700s, the Russian leader Catherine the Great started Russifying Ukraine. Russians were shipped to this part of the world, and schools were told to teach Russian language. In the 1800s, the Ukraine language was banned. In 1913, Soviet leader Joseph Stalin steered a famine in Ukraine. Many Eastern Ukrainians were killed, and the area was then repopulated with ethnic Russians. So 1 in 6 Ukrainians is an ethnic Russian, and 1 in 3 speaks Russian as a native language. But Ukraine and Russia were part of the Soviet Republic, the USSR. And the most powerful of the nations was Russia, with Ukraine being the second most powerful. Well, in the 1940s, the ethnic Tatars were relocated, and they were replaced with Russians in the area also. Ukraine is divided between East and West. Most of the West is more Eastern European persuaded, and the East is more dear to Russia. And it has always been dear to Russia. It is rich in coal, iron, and fertile land. But the